In the early days of the United States, a masked man and an Indian rode the plains, searching for truth and justice.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger!"
With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains, led the fight for law and order in the early western United States.
Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice.
Return with us now to the thrilling days of yesteryear.
When from out of the past comes the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse, Silver.
The Lone Ranger rides again.
Well, howdy, boys. See, we got the Lone Ranger sitting at the table with us. I see we got Lone Ranger books and photos. I guess this kind of might tell me what we're doing today, Wardell.
Today on Draw Western Theater, we're going to showcase the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger.
The great Lone Ranger to you.
You know, it does not get more iconic or more legendary or more Americana than the Lone Ranger himself.
Yep.
Well, that was started when? Back in the 30s?
The radio show, which most people are probably not going to know, the radio show actually started long before the TV series did.
Yeah.
I think, and the radio show was in 33.
33, yep. As a matter of fact, the radio, they started talking about the TV show in 46. I think it went on the air in 48. But the radio show started in 33, which, you know, we was talking about that one day about how popular radio was. Now people just don't seem to remember it.
Right. All the shows that people watched in the 50s and the 60s started out as radio shows, like The Shadow,
Father
Knows Best. All those shows started out as radio shows, and people gathered around the radio just like we gather around the TV now to watch TV shows. Families got together to watch listen to radio shows.
Well, I hate to butt in here, but speaking of gathering around the table, we are forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
Guns on the table, folks.
I already had it.
Guns on the table.
I'd be dead if y'all were to shoot me.
You know, you talk about gathering around the TV. You see some of those photographs from the 20s and 30s. Like I said, today's audience has no idea really that radio was the most important entertainment that a family had back then. You had families in the Appalachians or places where there was nothing to do but radio. They couldn't go anywhere on a Friday night, so they'd gather the family around the radio set.
My mother used to tell me stories about, because she had 9 sisters, and they would gather around, I guess on Saturday nights, and listen to the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
They didn't have TV.
Oh, yeah. Grand Ole Opry, the Renfro Valley Barn Dance. I mean, even, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, even I Love Lucy started out as my favorite husband on radio. So,
you know, that's interesting. The Grand Ole Opry is the longest running radio show ever. It is still running today.
True. Yes. It
is still running today. Something like, I want to say 11,000 episodes or something crazy like that. So radio was a big part of media.
The station that started the Lone Ranger, that was what, WXYZ?
WXYZ started it all. As a matter of fact, that's where we just about have to start the story of the Lone Ranger, is with George Trendle and a radio station in Detroit called WXYZ.
Now, he had problems getting programming.
So
Him and his partner.
Well,
so he decided to create his own.
Well, it wasn't really problems. Well, that's good.
He couldn't. He pitched a bunch of ideas to the back then networks. What we think of net today are not networks. We think of them as radio, TV shows. But back then, NBC, CBS, they were radio networks. And he pitched a bunch of shows to these big time radio networks, and they did not want to do any of them.
They wanted him to buy their product. But you know what? Ranger, why don't you get us started on this special program, and we'll talk about that next.
Hi-yo, Silver away!
The Lone Ranger here on
Draw Western Theater. Family drama.
The Lone Ranger. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver. The Lone Ranger. This is a story of one of the most mysterious characters to appear in the early days of the West. He was a fabulous individual, a man whose presence brought fear to the lawless and hope to those who wanted to make this frontier land their home. He was known as the Lone Ranger. Before his coming, this new land of the West was a wild, unruly territory into which brave American pioneers moved in covered wagons, on horseback, and afoot. Theirs was a rugged existence, for they not only had to settle and build, they had to fight. Here, beyond the reach of law and order, might was right. The best shot was the best man. Born of necessity in this chaotic period of westward expansion, an organization was developed to combat the evil forces of the times. An organization called the Texas Rangers. Ever on the job of maintaining law and order, 6 Texas Rangers ride alertly across a western landscape. All are courageous, straight-shooting men. At their head is a stranger, a half-breed scout, who one day earlier had appeared at a ranger encampment, suffering from a severe wound.
There you are, Collins. Nothing to worry about now.
Thanks, Captain. I should worry about a wound. I'm lucky to be alive.
You're right. Very few people are after those outlaws have struck. So they killed everybody at the trading post.
Everyone. Mr. Simpson, his wife, the young Indian helper, even old Pete McHenry.
That's too bad. How about the outlaws? Any of them get shot?
4 of them were in pretty bad shape. They had to be tied to their horses to ride away. I got 2 of them myself.
Too bad you couldn't have hit more of them. Which way did they go?
They rode up north into the Badlands.
That's pretty rough country. But with wounded men in tow, they can't travel very fast. We got a chance to catch them.
But they have a 5-hour start. Even if you overtook them, they outnumber you.
Mister, the Rangers are used to long odds. How about you? You could use your help in locating their trail if you feel strong enough to ride.
I don't need 2 arms to guide a horse. Besides, I have a score to even up, too. I'll go along.
Good man. Boys, pack 5 days' rations. Got 10 minutes to be in the saddle.
Right.
Bill, send Captain Reed to me. He's leading your detachment.
Yes, sir.
So came the half-breed Collins, who rides with a detachment of Rangers after the most ruthless outlaw band in the West, the notorious Cavendish Gang.
It's their trail, Reed. Yeah. And it indicates they're riding slowly as we figured. Yes, it does. Let's go, boys. Gained on them. These tracks can't be more than 3 hours old.
They're heading off into that canyon.
Yeah, it looks that way. Have you been in this vicinity before?
A couple of times.
I think it might be a good idea for us to check that canyon from the rim first.
I'll go ahead and scout the place. 1 man would be a lot less noticeable than all of us going.
All right. We'll wait here and give the horses a rest. Dismount, men.
Hold it, mister. Reach.
Hello, Whitey.
Oh, it's you. The new man, huh?
Yeah, it's me.
How's the plan going?
All right. The Rangers are back at the canyon entrance.
You think they'll keep on coming?
Sure, why not?
They're pretty smart hombres, you know.
Yeah?
We've tried to get them before. Didn't pan out.
I wasn't with you then. Where's Cavendish?
He's up there a ways. Leave your horse here.
All right.
I knew they'd fall for my little trap, Collins. That bullet I put in your arm really convinced them.
Yeah, Cavendish?
It sure did. When I get through around here, it's going to be a long time before any ranger outfit patrols in this section of the country. We're going to make this something they won't forget.
Is the ambush all set?
Take a gander over there. You know, my men could slaughter a whole army from up here.
It looks good to me.
Now, we're going to hold our fire until the lawmen ride in directly below us. Jerry, you tell the boys I'll shoot first. That'll be the signal to open up on the Rangers.
Right.
And, Jerry, when a man goes down, I want lead to be kept pouring into him till it looks like a sieve. You got that straight?
You bet. Come on, Blackie.
Word. Collins, you're doing a good job for a new man.
Thanks, Chief.
Now get back there and bring on the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, sure.
See anything?
Yes, but not on the rim. The Cavendish outfit is just leaving the far side of the canyon, about 4 miles off.
Are you sure?
I saw their dust.
Good. Here we go, men.
You're watching Draw Western Theater here on WBON TV, Channel 9. Let's go, boys. You know, when you talk about WXYZ, I remember listening to them when I was a kid growing up outside Detroit, so they were a very popular radio station. Back in the day, George Trendle was a guy who actually owned Nickelodeons and dabbled in motion pictures and theaters in his early career.
But not very much money.
Not very much money. Well, then he decided to get into radio. He had a partner. Who was that partner? Remember?
John King.
John
He
King.
partnered with John King,
John
to
H.
buy
King.
to buy and form the XYZ radio station.
And WXYZ in Detroit
1930.
had a huge following. It had a big footprint in that area. This was before the super stations that came along in the 50s and 60s. So he had a big footprint. And this was a man that was, what was the word that you used?
Cheapskate.
Cheap, yeah. And nothing wrong with that. He was a businessman.
No.
He made
He
money.
wasn't a
Didn't
cheapskate.
spend money.
He was thrifty.
He was thrifty. Whenever you
Thrifty.
hear his name, that word comes up a lot.
I mean, we were just coming out of the
Same
Great
thing,
Depression.
same
We were.
In the 30s, you're not too long displaced from the Depression. So
You're absolutely
people learned
right.
in the 20s that they had to be thrifty with their money or they weren't going to make it.
Well, and I'll give you a prime example. When he bought one of the radio stations, one of the most popular radio stations in Detroit, they said, okay, what music format do we want to go with? And he said, we're going to go with classical music. They said, classical music? You know, people weren't listening to classical music in the 1920s and 30s. And he said, well, but classical music is
Free.
Public domain.
Public domain.
So they actually did public domain on there. And then the other networks were just like the television thing. Like I said, most people understand television, but it's the same way with radio. If you wanted the hit show of the day, if you wanted Fibber, McGee, and Molly, you had to purchase it from the network. Then you'd play it, and you could sell ad times or however they made their revenues. But Trendle didn't like the idea of having to purchase programming from the network.
Well, that's because he was thrifty.
He was thrifty, very thrifty. Man was thrifty.
But he did have an idea that he wanted to try. Or wait a minute, was it his idea or was it Stryker's idea?
We'll get into that because there's always going to be that controversy. But that's what he did. He thought, you know what? Let's do our own program.
Did you know that Harold and a True Producer was bigger than Robin Hood?
And, you know, didn't he actually kind of get the idea? He wanted to make a Western Zorro.
Yep.
That's where the idea kind of originally came
Zorro
from.
was really, really big at the time.
Right.
Jay Silverheels.
Zorro was really, really big at the time with Spanish-speaking audiences.
Yes.
Trendle thought this Zorro is a very popular character in Spanish-speaking countries and Spanish languages. So he thought, what we need an American version of Zorro. Or Robin Hood. Robin Hood was his other idea. So he hired a man who was a very prolific writer at the time named Fran Stryker.
Right.
And he told Fran Stryker, I want you to write me a Western that we're going to produce on our radio station. So Fran Stryker said, okay. And he said, I want it to be like Zorro. I want him to have a mask. Now, the reason the mask comes a little bit later.
The reason that he had a mask, he could replace the role with different actors and nobody would know.
Well,
because he has a mask
he
on.
didn't want anybody to be associated with the character as much as just an actor. But again, his main thing was right now at this moment, we want a Western that we don't have to buy from the network. So Fran Stryker started working on it. Then they brought in a guy named Jim Jewell. And Jim Jewell is going to do the production. He's the one that's going to bring the actors in. He's a local TV theater guy. So he's going to bring the actors in. He was going to bring the soundmen in. So they started putting all the pieces together to do their own Western radio show.
So, and we'll let y'all get back to the movie. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the actors that were part of the radio show. Because they called them actors, even though they were voice actors, I guess.
Well, you know, and like I said, this
voice
is before TV. Movies were around. This was before TV, so they were doing it just the same way. Let's watch some of the movie.
Let's get some cars.
Must have taken a wrong turn. Look up there. It's a head wall. No passage through here. Say, where's Collins?
He was right behind us a while ago. I saw him.
Look! It's an ambush, men. Spread out and find cover, quick! That half-breed traitor Collins. Bill.
village.
Yes, Chief?
Check those men down there. Make sure they're dead.
You got 'em all.
Good. Go on back to your horse. We'll wait for you up here.
I thought he was one of us, Chief.
He was. Any man who would betray those Rangers might be just as quick to turn on us, I figured. And no one does that. It's going to be a nice little reminder for anybody who tries to stop me from now on.
Yeah.
Now, let's get out of here. Got a lot of work to do in Colby.
Many hours after the Cavendish gang has left the ambush scene, a lone figure moves painfully over the rock-strewn ground. A small spring gurgling in a shady cave is his destination. He alone of the 6 Texas Rangers still lives. His one aim is to reach water and shade. Desperately, he fights off the weakness from loss of blood, which threatens to halt his progress. It is deathly hot. The sun beats down unmercifully. Ahead is that cooling, life-giving water. If his strength can only last. Foot by foot, sheer torture, he pulls himself along. There, out of the hot glare of the sun, only a short distance farther. There's the spring. Now his bandana. There. Cold water never felt better. Never seemed sweeter than now. 100 yards away, Collins stirs, unaware of the existence of the spring and the ranger who lies beside it. He, too, miraculously has escaped a mortal wound from a Cavendish bullet. And he, too, like the ranger, knows that death lurks in the hot rays of the sun. He must seek shelter somewhere, quickly, within the confines of the canyon. Weakly, he stumbles off to find shade, to nurse his wounds. Then, as if timed by fate, a third figure, an Indian, enters the hot canyon. Surprised, he sees the results of the Cavendish gang's handiwork. Texas Rangers, sprawled in attitudes of violent death. These were men to whom heroic deeds were a part of each day's work. And now their work was done. Then, by chance, the native spies the figure lying beside the distant pool. He moves forward.
Lie still. Mean not hurt you. Why, you Kimosabe.
Kimosabe? That sounds familiar.
That's right, Kimosabe. You trusty scout.
Trusty scout?
Yes, Ranger. Long time back, when we both young. Me remember time Indian camp burned. Renegade Indians raid settlement when men of tribe away. Kill my mother, my sisters. They leave me for dead. You found me, nursed me back to health, saved me from dying. When me well, you give me horse to go find my father. Me take horse only when you accept gift. My ring, it make good luck. Me call you Kimosabe. It mean trusty scout. Me never forget you. You remember now?
Yes. You're Tonto.
That's right. Me Tonto. Now me take care of you.
Immediately the Indian, Tonto, unsaddles his horse and sets up a camp at the entrance of the cave near the pool and the injured man. The ranger's wounds are cleansed and expertly dressed by the Indian, who calls upon all the lore he knows to ease his white friend's suffering. Several days of patient vigil, tender care, and careful feeding bring results. The ranger gradually regains his strength. He is going to live.
Tonto, I guess I drifted off again. How long have I been here now?
3 days. How you feel?
Still a little weak. The other rangers, Tonto, all dead? One of them, Captain Reed, was my brother.
Too bad. Rangers all fine men.
We didn't have a chance, Tonto. It was a perfect ambush and double cross. How did you happen to find me?
Me hunt here in canyon often. Ride in here on scout over yonder. Find rangers and dead horse.
I see.
While you sleep, me bury other rangers over there. Make grave for men. Bring belongings here.
That was good of you, Tonto.
Them brave men.
Yes, they were brave. And they won't be forgotten. I've spent a lot of time thinking. For every one of those men, I'm going to bring 100 lawbreakers to justice. I'll make that Cavendish gang, and every criminal that I can find for that matter, regret the day those rangers were killed. Tonto, from this moment on, I'm going to devote my life to establishing law and order in this new frontier, to make the West a decent place to live.
That good. But when Cavendish gang know you escape ambush, you marked man. They hunt you down, many against one.
No one is going to know I'm alive. I'm supposed to be dead, and I'm going to stay that way. I'll hide my identity somehow. I'll wear a disguise of some sort.
You mean like mask?
That's it, Tonto. From now on, I'll wear a mask. Let's see. There ought to be some material here I can use. Here. This. My brother's vest. Belonged to one of the bravest of them all.
Me help Kimosabe. You rest now.
All right, Tonto. Thanks.
Well, so George Trendle had kind of gotten what he wanted. They went ahead and they started producing their own show.
Yep.
Right. He got his actors in line. He got his writer. He got Fran
Stryker
in line to write the show.
You know, that Fran Stryker to me is one of the biggest amazing stories about this. That was one prolific man. But he got his actors together, and of course, you know, this is radio, so it was more about the voice than the look. Who did they get to come in as the Ranger?
Well, they had Earl Glasser was the Ranger. Started in '33 as the Ranger
For the radio.
for the radio show.
And Clayton Moore was the movie actor.
Right, that's down the road.
Are you talking about for public appearances, though?
For public appearances, now there was Gasser. Gasser couldn't. They didn't want Gasser for public appearances because, he was a man of slight stature, and he wasn't what they imagined the Ranger would look like. So for public appearances, there's pictures of him with the mask on and waving. But then they had another guy stand in as public appearances. But wait a minute, before we even get there, here's the thing: they put the show on the air. And it played in Buffalo, I think, for the first 6 weeks, is what Stryker said. Then it moved to WXYZ.
Right. They test marketed it. They wanted to test market it first.
And then once it got to WXYZ, they were kind of hoping it might be a moderate success so they wouldn't have to pay the networks for shows. And instead, it went through the roof. Kids were listening to it. Because they aimed it sort of at kids because of the way the Ranger was portrayed and the way he lived his life and everything. It was aimed at a young market. Well, kids were gathering around the radio every time it came on. They soon found out they had millions of listeners. Other radio stations started calling them and saying, hey, we've heard about this Lone Ranger show you've got. We'd like to play it on our radio station.
This one, it was picked up, I think, in 1939. It was picked up by the National Broadcasting System.
NBC.
NBC. So, then it went national at that point, all over the country. So, I think they shot like 2,956 episodes. But in an interview one time, he said that it had probably shown almost 6,000 times because they showed it every day, 3 times a day.
The radio show?
The radio show was played every day, 3 times a day in each time zone.
3 times a day.
So it was 6:30 p.m. Eastern, Pacific, and Central, 3 times a day.
Grasser didn't stay the Lone Ranger, though. Is that right?
He did right up till I think he died in an automobile accident.
Yeah, he was killed in an automobile accident in 41. And then Beamer?
I think so, yes.
Beamer played the Ranger from 41 till 54. Could have been.
Now, Bruce Beamer was the one that would actually sometimes appear as the Ranger in public appearances. Because he was a big, tall, strapping guy. So, you had Gasser doing the voice, and then the public appearance, it would come out, Beamer would be the one.
Did you know that in the actual show with Clayton Moore, they used the audio because Clayton Moore couldn't exactly do exactly that. So they used the audio from the radio.
I have read that. Now, there's other people that say that's not true, but they said if you listen, the beginning of the Lone Ranger TV show, Hi-Yo Silver is actually the original Gasser recording from the 30s.
Well, speaking of audio, you all do know why the William Tell Overture is the theme song, right?
I think this might play back into Trendle again, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can't help it. I mean, he's cheapskate.
Yes,
he is.
He actually, the reason it's called the March of the Swiss Soldiers or the William Tell Overture, and the reason it's used is
public domain.
Public domain.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant because he didn't have to pay for those. He didn't want to pay somebody to write the thing, so he's like, okay.
Okay, folks, we'll let you get back to the show, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the Lone Ranger.
Awesome. Let's play a little bit here while we got some time.
Their face wounds all healed now.
Let me have the mask. There. It fits perfectly. Good job, Tonto.
Here hat, me wash in stream, dye in sun, make whiter.
Thanks, Tonto.
Here gun to kill bad men.
I'm not going to do any killing.
You not defend yourself?
Oh, I'll shoot if I have to. But I'll shoot to wound, not to kill. A man must die. It's up to the law to decide that. Not the person behind a six-shooter.
That's right, Kimosabe.
Well, there's just one more thing to be done.
What that?
Dig another grave. Out there.
Who that for?
That'll be my grave.
There, just like others.
That's good. Only you, Tonto, know I'm alive. To the world, I'll be buried here, beside my brother and my friends, forever.
You all alone now, last man. You are Lone Ranger.
Yes, Tonto. I am a Lone Ranger.
Kimosabe, me help you fight outlaw.
But, Tonto, don't you have a family? Anyone?
No, me lone like you. Me want law here, too, for all.
All right, Tonto. You'll be a lot of help. We'll ride together.
Me glad, Kimosabe. Me fight good for you.
Take cover, Tonto. That's Collins, the man that led us into ambush.
Why him shoot?
Undoubtedly, he's after your horse. Collins must have been deserted by the outlaws. He's probably been making his way to that vantage point for some time now.
Why him go there, Kimosabe?
He knows the only way to get Scout is to kill us. He is well protected up there.
What we do now?
I'm going to keep him back under cover while you make a run for Scout. Take Scout into the cave. Collins won't be able to see you from there.
Me do.
I'll follow Tonto as soon as you're safe. All right, run.
Did you hit him?
No, Tonto, I didn't try. We're going to capture him alive.
That hard. Him in good spot.
Yes, but I have an idea how we can do it. You start up the cliff on that side. First, tie up Scout. I'll try to draw his fire from the other side of the rocks.
Kimosabe! Look out! Him dead, Kimosabe, but me glad. Him deserve to die.
No, Tonto. No one should have his life end like this.
Better him dead. Like White Parson say, this act of providence. Now no one know you still live.
Yes, that is true. A strange act of providence has protected my secret.
Me dig grave for him.
All right. I'll get Scout ready for travel. Hi, fella. All set, Tonto?
Me ready. We go after the rest of Cavendish's gang now?
As soon as we can. But I've got to get a mount of some sort. We'll head off toward Wild Horse Valley. Here, take Scout. On, boy.
For 2 days, the Lone Ranger and Tonto traveled toward the remote valley of Wild Horses, where a particularly sturdy breed of horses lives. unknown and unmolested by the hunters of the West. Later, at the entrance to this valley, the Lone Ranger and Tonto hear sounds of a furious battle. Beyond the rocks in a small glen, they catch a glimpse of a huge buffalo about to gore the life out of a fallen horse. Quickly, the Lone Ranger reaches for his gun.
You hit him, Kimasabi.
I hope it was soon enough, Tonto.
Buffalo dying. Horse look bad. Me shoot him?
No, Tonto. I'm going to try to pull him through. Well, old fellow, you're in bad shape. A lot of bumps and bruises. Tonto, get some rags from the supplies and bring the canteen.
Me do.
So, in an instant, the Lone Ranger has made a momentous decision, for he has recognized the sterling qualities of the animal he has saved. For some time, the masked man in the Indian camp beside the wounded horse, tending his battle hurts and caring for him as best they know how. Now, human hands have done all they can to help nature in healing the animal's wounds. Can the wild stallion rise? Gently, the masked man coaxes the horse.
Easy. Easy, big fellow. Come on your feet. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Easy, big fellow. Easy.
Me get bridle and lariat. Him run away.
No, wait, Tonto. I'd like that horse more than anything in the world. But if he wants to go, he should be free.
Him a beauty. Like mountain with snow. Silver white.
Silver. That would be a name for him. Here, Silver. Come back, big fellow. Come on, Silver. Come back, big fellow. Come on, Silver.
Me get bridle now. Him come back.
No, he wouldn't take a bit. I'll use a hackamore for the time being. It won't be as strange to his head as a bridle. There. There, Silver. You only knew how we need you. Ooh. Oh, boy. Oh. Oh. Oh, big fellow. Steady. We're going to do a lot of riding together. We're going to be pals, aren't we, Silver?
A few days later, after the horse has recovered his strength, the Lone Ranger tightens the saddle on the back of the white stallion. Quickly, the masked man mounts, and for the first time in his life, Silver bears weight upon his back. Soon, under expert and gentle guidance, the horse quiets and responds quickly to the Lone Ranger's lead. Later, the hackamore is exchanged for a bridle and bit. Here is no conflict between animal and master. Here, instead, is a partnership between horse and rider. The Lone Ranger and Silver accept each other as equals.
He's a beauty, Tonto. Dream horse if I ever rode one.
Him and Scout good friends.
Yes, they'll do a lot of riding, side by side.
Me got everything packed. Here's saddlebag. Here, blanket. We ride after Cavendish gang now?
Yes, Tonto. They were headed toward Colby. Then, too, there's an old-timer there I want to see by the name of Jim Blaine. All right, let's go.
You know, one of the most interesting aspects of the Lone Ranger, of course, has got to be Fran Stryker. That was one prolific man. I mean, he was brilliant. He had an incredible imagination.
He wrote the Green Hornet.
Do you guys remember what happened with the creation of Batman and Superman? How one person was credited for both of them?
Bill Finger got forgotten about for Batman.
Right. But yeah, there was two artists almost always in the creation of these characters, except when you talk about Stan Lee. Stan Lee was Stan Lee. But what happened was, Stryker is probably the man who came up with almost all the things that are in the Lone Ranger that we know. Stryker was just that kind of a writer. You can see it in his other creations. But when the show started taking off, Trendle was such a businessman that, did you ever hear that story about what he did when the show took off?
I don't know how he got the rights.
Are you talking about the TV show or the radio show?
I'm talking about the radio show. The Lone Ranger took off.
Yeah, the Lone Ranger took off.
Trendle called him in. Trendle called Stryker and Jewel in. And he said, boys, if you want to keep doing this, if you want to keep doing this show as a group at WXYZ, you need to sign this paper. And he handed him a paper that signed over all rights to the Lone Ranger to George Trendle.
Did you know that Stryker wrote 156 Lone Ranger scripts?
Oh yes, I think that was just TV. I think he wrote almost all of the radio.
Oh, he wrote all the radio shows. He wrote almost 3,000 episodes for the radio.
I don't see how Stryker was able to fool them like that. Because they could have taken, I'm just thinking off the top.
You mean Trendle?
Trendle. I don't see how he was able to, I hate to say it this way, but hoodwink them like that.
Well, the thing was, that Stryker had a good job working for a good company. The show was a hit. So Trendle Price said, here's exactly how it happened. Because I was kind of reading about this too. And this kind of plays into what happens in the 50s with Clayton Moore. When Trendle met with him, he said, that idea that you had of the Lone Ranger came from me. I'm the one that brought you in and said, I want a character based on Zorro and on the...
Okay, so that's how he did the argument of...
My concept.
Right. I asked you to create something for me, and since you work for me...
I think everybody knew... just think about the contract they signed over all merchandising. Do you know how big the merchandising was?
It's up there with Lash LaRue.
With all of them. Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, Hopalong Cassidy. The Lone Ranger had as much product out there as anybody. And what he was able to do, Trendle was able to say, that's not Clayton Moore's face. So he was able to say that merchandising is mine. But we all know who that is. That's Clayton Moore.
Right.
Moore, yeah.
But that's what he did, though. He had him sign it over. And Stryker was a brilliant guy. He just really was.
Do that for a second.
Well, I don't know if I'd call him a brilliant guy. I'd call him a ruthless businessman.
Well, Trendle was a ruthless
businessman.
I'm going to bring this up since you're talking about merchandising. I had this book when I was a kid.
As a little ranger, you had that
I had
one?
this book. I did. And I loved it. I sure did. It was kind of crazy when, I had this book.
And
can't keep an eye on that book.
It's going on with me there.
Well, we better get back to it and let them watch a little more. When we come back, we'll talk about what happened right after the radio show did take off and where it eventually started leading to.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, fellas, get your bets down here. And
I'm talking too much again.
You're stealing all the whiskey.
There it is, Tonto. Jim Blaine's place.
Look like him got company.
We'll wait until the caller leaves before we drop in.
It's nice seeing you, Judge. Be seeing you next week, Jim.
Look, the side of the house. Come on.
Got him, Chief. Good. But he winged me. Is he out? Cold. He won't be seeing light for hours. Trade guns. Say, you're bleeding bad. Yeah, must have hit an artery. You get on the road pronto and spread the news to the shooting men. Get me a doc. I'll meet you at the Glen.
All right.
Someone's coming. We gotta clear out of here fast. Him dead yonder, Kimosabe. How's Jim?
He's had a hard knock.
Me thought maybe murders killed Jim, too.
They could have, Tonto. For some reason, they wanted Jim to be found here alive. He's coming to. Help me carry him to the porch. So that's why I'm after Cavendish, Jim. The reason for the mask. My real identity is to be kept a secret. Known only to the three of us.
Well, I'll be hanged. You sure got a job cut out for yourself, Reed. I mean, Lone Ranger. I'll help in any way I can.
I was hoping you'd join us, Jim, and live up at our old silver mine.
Oh, you're mighty kind to an old ex-ranger who used to nurse me, ya boy. Sure would like to. Never did like living here trying to farm, only...
Only what?
Well, I can't run out now with the owner of the bank. Poor old Judge Knox lying dead back there. Folks might think that I did it. Why, they might start blaming me for all the rest of the killings that's going on in town.
More murders, Jim?
Yes, lots of them. First, it was Lem Peters. He owns a newspaper. Then Biff Anderson, postmaster and telegraph man combined. Then Max Strauss, the hotel man. And a couple others, too. Why, it seems everybody important in Colby is getting shot. The sheriff's plumb going crazy.
Did you recognize the man who killed the judge?
Couldn't mistake him. It was Butch Cavendish. Now, who you said you're after?
Cavendish. He must be doing these killings in Colby for a very special reason.
Yeah, but why?
Most likely he wanted the murders to look like a local affair. I'm certain, Jim, we'll upset his plans if you're not around to accept the blame for the judge's death. That old silver mine of ours will be a perfect hideout for you.
Yes, it would. By cranky, I guess you're right. It would be best if I became scarce around here for a bit. I'll go along with you.
That's fine. How's his knee, Tonto?
Leg better now.
Good. Help me put Jim on Silver's back.
A few hours later, after a tedious ride over winding trails and unknown paths, the Lone Ranger, Jim, and Tonto approached the site of the secret silver mine.
This is it, Tonto.
Where mine?
Don't see it, do you, Injun? Fooled you just like everybody else.
Come on, I'll show you. Here we are, Tonto. It must have been 10 years ago that my brother, old Jim here, and I discovered the mine and built this shack.
9 years ago this spring.
Still no see mine.
Over here, Tonto. It's under the bunk. There.
Yep, one of the richest veins of silver ever found in these here parts.
I never thought I'd care about digging up the ore. That is, until now.
Water there, too.
That's the spring we were cleaning out when we found the vein. We drained the water to get to the silver ore. Jim, you and I can fix up this place while Tonto goes into town for the sheriff. His name is Taylor, isn't it?
Yep, old Two-Gun is still on the job.
All right, Kimosabe.
When you find the sheriff, tell him you know where Jim Blaine is. He'll come with you.
That's good. Me go now.
The shack seems to be in pretty good shape.
I'll be as snug as a bug.
All I want out of this place is enough silver for some immediate needs. Other than that, all you can dig is yours.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
You're entitled to it, Jim. You'll have to do all the work.
You know, I could refine a little ore right here.
That's just what I want you to do, Jim. Then in the future, whenever Tonto and I come back here, we can get the pure metal for money and bullets.
Bullets?
Yes. I want some of the ore cast into silver bullets.
Thunderation, what's the matter with lead bullets? They'll kill just as well as...
You forget I told you I vowed never to shoot to kill. Silver bullets will serve as sort of a symbol. Tonto suggested the idea.
Symbol? Of what?
A symbol which means justice by law. I want it to become known to all who see the silver bullets that I live and fight only to see the eventual defeat and the proper punishment by law of every criminal in the West.
By criminy, I think you've got something there. And I'll mold you all the silver bullets you want, Ranger. But from what I know about this here country, there'll be an awful lot of silver shot up before you're through.
I hope not, Jim. We have a lot of metal here for that purpose, if we need it.
Now, those dirty killers. I wish I knew where to look for them first. Now, Pete, you look up in that old creek section for Jim. Lem, go get Creel and fetch the doc's body and bring it back into town. This is a fine time for Doc Drummond to be missing. Jim Blaine disappearing. I never suspected he'd ever have anything to do with these killings.
Sheriff.
Well, go away, Indy. Can't see I'm busy. Now, Bill Keefe says that Jim's horse is still at his farm. So he must have gone off on foot. Now, he can't be very far.
Me know where Jim Blaine is.
Look, Indian, will you go away, please? Can't you see I'm busy with these men? What'd you say?
Me know where Jim Blaine is. Him want to see you.
Well, you know where he is. Why didn't you say so? Where is he?
Me not tell.
What do you mean by that? You just said you knew.
You come. Me take you to Jim.
Now, wait a minute. How do I know that you know where Jim is?
You don't know, but you follow me. Jim wants to talk to you about Judge Knox's killing.
Bet he does, all right. Yeah, and I want to talk to him, too. Hank, you and I are saddle up. We're going to follow this engine.
No one come. Only you.
Now, look. You don't think I'd be silly enough to go with you alone, do you?
Me think so. You brave lawman want to solve mysteries.
Maybe you're right. Well, maybe he's right, huh? How long a ride is it?
Not far for tough sheriff. Maybe 2 hours away.
All right, Injun. You lead the way. But don't forget, any funny business? Hank, keep an eye on things like I'm back.
All right, Suzanne.
Well, boys, I moved my feet for just a couple minutes. I come back and somebody's sitting in my chair. What's this about?
I don't know.
Who might you be?
Name is Harriet Morgan Murray. But you fine gentlemen can call me Morgan.
Wait a minute.
Did you say Harriet Morgan Murphy?
No, Murray.
Murray. Don't you recognize that name, Ranger? She kind of got a nom de plume she goes by in these parts. That'd be Bloody Murray, Ranger. Bloody Murray. What brings you to this part of the woods, Miss Murray, or can I call you Morgan?
You may call me Morgan.
What brings you out west?
I just want to see some more sights. Make some friends along the way.
She's mostly known to be a
Trust me, I've been
Eastern
friends
duelist.
with them for a while. Not a good choice.
Well, right now we're actually discussing the Lone Ranger. He's one of our favorite characters of all time, and we're kind of talking about where all the legends came from, all the different parts of the Ranger story. Most people think they came from the TV series, but no, they were actually born by Stryker and by the other people involved in it right from the very beginning in the radios.
Yeah, interesting fact. The Lone Ranger radio station, the guy who played him, didn't know how to whistle on demand. So he had to say, "Hi-yo Silver," and "Hi-yo Silver away." So that's why he doesn't whistle to get Silver to come.
That's how actually Hi-yo Silver came in. He couldn't whistle for Silver, so he came up with Hi-yo Silver right before they went on the air. But, I mean, little things like the silver bullets. You guys remember those?
Right. The
Yes.
silver. Silver bullets were supposed to come from
Do
the
you guys
silver
know?
mine.
The brothers found
His
the
brother's
silver mine.
Do you know why that the Lone Ranger gives or shoots people with silver bullets? Because that little silver bullet shows how much life means.
Exactly, how precious life is. So they came up with, again, this is Fran Stryker came up with making them out of silver from a silver mine that the Lone Ranger inherited. So it shows when he shoots somebody just how precious life is and to not waste the bullets.
Yep.
You know, the Lone Ranger wasn't known for dropping people left and right.
He only killed one person, which that one person killed his brother.
Who was that? Who did he kill?
Yeah, who was it?
Butch Cavendish.
Butch Cavendish, that's right. Now, why Butch Cavendish was...
he was one of the gang members that killed his brother and 4 other Rangers.
This is...
Cavendish gang, that's right.
This is from the Johnny Depp Lone Ranger movie. Johnny Depp actually played Tonto in this movie, but this is a beer from the movie.
That's actual prop from the actual movie. That movie just shows you the longevity of the Ranger character. All these years later, they're still doing it. But at this time, at this time though, the radio show really kept growing and growing. It seemed to have no bounds.
Speaking of longevity, I mean the radio show ran from 1933 to 1955. That's what, 22 years?
22 years.
A 22-year long radio show. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, now he sold it in Trendle sold the concept and the Lone Ranger itself to, was it Rather?
Yes.
Rather Corporation. But before that, there was 47. The radio show was still going strong, and it was such a hit that there was this new thing coming along that everybody started thinking, this new thing needs a Western. It needs a hit Western. And that new thing? Television. So we need to talk about the Lone Ranger moves to television.
Yeah. So we'll let you guys get back to this episode, and we'll talk more about how the Lone Ranger actually became a TV show when we come back.
Is that okay?
I don't have your papers on you, do I?
Yep.
Just a minute, stranger.
Down the gun, Sheriff. I can explain.
Howdy, 2 guns.
Jim, what the Sam Hill's going on here? Who are these people? Who's this masked man? What about Judge Knox shooting? Somebody's got a heap of explaining to do.
And after the killers knocked me out and changed guns with me, my friend and his engine pal brought me here.
It's a very interesting story, Jim. What's more interesting, maybe, is that you've convinced me the masked man here is fighting on the right side of the law.
I'm glad you're convinced, Sheriff.
So Butch Cavendish is the judge's murderer, huh?
Yep. And right now he's somewhere in this here vicinity, wounded, with my bullet in him.
Wounded, huh? Say, maybe that explains something. Old Doc Drummond's the only doc in these parts, and he's missing.
10 to 1 he's been fetched to fix up Cavendish.
Yeah, the problem now is, where's Cavendish hiding out?
He left a trail leading away from Jim's farm. I think I might be able to follow it, Sheriff.
Good, I'll get some men from town.
That'll take too much time. It would be quicker for you to come with me now. Tonto can ride to town.
Me do, then follow your trail.
All right, Injun. See my man Creel at the office. He'll get some men. Watch that leg, Jim.
Look here.
Wagon tracks.
Cavendish was followed by someone in a wagon, a horseman riding alongside of it.
Those tracks were made by Doc Drummond's rig. He's got the only narrow rims around here.
So far, so good. Let's go.
Doc, take it easy.
Well, I'm doing the best I can. There, yes.
All right, get on with the bandaging. I'm in a hurry.
What's the matter? You scared of something like maybe the sheriff will find us?
Why should I be? I'm getting rid of him just like I did everybody else of importance in Colby.
You mean to say that you're responsible for all those murders that have happened in the last week?
Sure. Might as well let you know. You see, Doc, all the men that have stepped into their vacated positions belong to my organization. It's taken a lot of planning, but we're just about set. I'm taking over Colby.
Well, why are you telling me this?
I'm going to be needing a sawbones in my organization, and I've just decided you're going to be him.
Like blazes I am. I'd die before I'd help a pack of coyotes like...
What was that?
Doggone nag.
I think they heard us.
Somebody over there.
Give me that gun. I'll cover the dock. You boys get over there and find out.
Here they come. Take cover.
Relax, Doc. Whatever's going on out there, my man will take care of it.
Much obliged, partner. Watch these men, Sheriff. I'll go help the doc.
Jerry! Pike! What's going on? Answer! You go take a look. I want to find out what's happening. But don't run. I've got this on your back.
Cavendish, drop that gun. All right, Sheriff. Bring in the others.
You all right, Doc? Yeah, I'm all right. Who's the masked man? He's on the side of the law. Well, this crook was going to take over Colby. He admitted all those murders.
We know, Doc. We overheard him. Sheriff, you can take Cavendish to town in Doc's buggy. These other three will tie up and put on their horses. Doc, do you know where their mounts are?
Yes, behind the rocks over yonder.
Thanks.
Here you are, Doc. Watch these owl hoots close while I tie them up. Yeah. I hope they do make a move, especially this one.
Remember this, boys. I'm not in jail yet.
Shut up. Working your mouth is making a move.
Come on, Silver. Silver. What's wrong, Silver?
Those are my men. I knew they were due here about this time. So you thought you had me, Sheriff. Well, you haven't. You, the sawbones, and that masked man over there behind those rocks can start counting the minutes you gotta live. Beginning right now.
Silver.
All right, boys, I got him. Get him high, Sheriff. Come on in, men. It's me, Cavendish. The shooting's over.
Looks like we got here just in time, boss.
You did. Tie these men up.
What goes on?
I got winged after I shot Judge Knox. The sawbones there was treating me when the sheriff and the masked man took things over. Is that the hombre we seen ride off on the white horse? Yeah, which way did he go? Up the draw.
They're all tied up, boss.
Good. I'll watch him. You men get after that masked man before he gets to Colby and spoils our plans, and bring him back dead or alive.
You heard it, boys. Let's travel.
Meanwhile, unaware of what has happened to the Lone Ranger since last he saw him, Tonto has arrived in the town of Colby. He's on his way to the sheriff's office to ask the sheriff's assistant, Alex Creel, for more men to aid the Lone Ranger in tracking down Butch Cavendish.
The way you keep on cleaning that gun, Corey, you must be figuring on using it soon. Nothing like being prepared. Mighty lot's been going on around Colby lately, and the shooting's only just begun. Creel says there's going to be more of it tonight.
Which one of you sheriff's assistants?
It isn't often a redskin comes looking for the sheriff. It's usually the other way around. What do you want, Indian?
Me want to see Creel.
At present, he's busy. I'm handling his business. What's on your mind?
Sheriff Taylor sent me. Him on trail of Butch Cavendish. Asked for Creel to come with posse.
Oh, he did, huh? You're lying, Indian. Everybody around here knows that Cavendish gang is nowhere around here.
That's not so. I see Cavendish myself. You come. I show you trail.
Will you listen to the redskin ordering us around? I don't know what your game is, Indian, but if Sheriff Taylor really sent you, you'd have some kind of proof.
You follow Tonto. You have plenty proof.
Seems to me this redskin's getting a little ornery, Corey. Shall I throw him in jail? No, let him go. Don't come nosing around here again, or you won't get off so easy. Creel left orders not to lead a posse anywhere. Say, Corey, do you think he was on the level about the sheriff being on Cavendish's trail? Of course he was on the level. Why do you think I was trying to protect Cavendish? With all of our plans set for tonight, we can't let the sheriff mess things up. But if that Injun gets back to the sheriff and tells him that Creel... He's not going to get back to the sheriff, because you're going to see that he doesn't. Savvy? Oh, I savvy. You got nothing to worry about. Nothing like making sure, Injun.
Welcome back to Draw Western Theater, and the Lone Ranger radio show is now just a big hit.
Well, where you been, Ranger?
Yeah,
Where'd that girl go?
Oh, I don't know. I came back. She's gone.
Yeah,
I got some paper on her.
You started talking about papers, and she left in kind of a hurry.
Yeah, so when I left, I came back. She's gone. Well, you know what I think she got, don't you? When you walked out of here, I think she got a little bit of Rangeritis going there.
Yeah.
I got a feeling we're going to see her again.
Well, you know, like the kid said, it's 1949. The radio show was a huge success. It's even spawned a spin-off, which was The Green Hornet.
Yep. Well, actually, Stryker wrote The Green Hornet.
He did.
Well, he did, but it is a spin-off of The Lone Ranger.
So the Green Hornet did have its own radio show.
It did.
It did.
Okay.
Now, you know what? When he says it's a spin-off, people are going to think, what do you mean a spin-off? There actually is a connection there.
Right.
They're related.
They're related.
Right. Britt Reed, which plays the Green Hornet, is Dan Reed, which is John Reed's nephew. It's his son.
Yes.
The Green Hornet is Dan Reed's son.
I think he's the Lone Ranger's great nephew or great nephew.
Great nephew.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, Fran Stryker was an amazing thing he did. Believe it or not, there's even a third thing that Stryker and Trindle and Jewel are responsible for. You guys remember we did that show, Sergeant Preston and the Yukon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Same group. Invented that show. So here they had 3 of the top-rated radio shows on the air at the same time. But you was talking about it was 48. In 1948, there was a new thing coming on.
Oh yeah, big thing that was getting started was TV.
Television. So people were starting to say, hey, you can have entertainment in your house where you can see a moving picture. And so they started getting these little black and white televisions, which were very expensive at the time, so not many people had them. No, they weren't that great. That would be kind of interesting.
No.
They weren't that old.
No, to film them. They were hand cranked.
Oh, you're thinking of motion pictures. They did the old hand crank motion. No, by then they even had motors on the movie cameras.
No, I'm saying when TV first came out, you had to hand crank the camera.
When films did. When movies first came out, they hand cranked. Right. Well, television came along and it was starting to catch on. The only problem television had was
not enough programming.
Not enough
programming.
The big shows at the time, what? The number one show was what? It was
Christian show or a religious broadcast.
It was a Father So-and-so, your New Day or something.
A New Day.
And you know what the second one was?
Wrestling.
What was that, Gorgeous George?
Gorgeous George is the biggest star.
Oh, that's awesome.
At one time, Gorgeous George was like the most recognized man in the world.
They still talk about him, too.
Yes. Didn't your mom hate him?
Oh, my mother, yes, hated Gorgeous George, but she never missed the show that he was on. She would watch everything he was on. I can't stand that guy. He's coming on at 4 o'clock.
To watch him get beaten.
So in 48, they decided the radio show was such a huge hit that it naturally, why not?
Why not try to translate it over to television?
Now, I got a question for you. We know that Trindle eventually sold to Rather.
Right.
Was that wasn't at this time, though?
No, it was a little later. I think it was, when did the radio show go off there? It was 55.
55 was when the radio show
That's
went
when
off.
he sold it to Rather. It was 55.
Okay.
Now, and at that time, they were kind of thinking, there was a little bit of thought about TV show too, but the thing about the Lone Ranger was they had Gasser doing the voice,
right?
But they knew that he couldn't do the public appearances.
Right.
So they had Beamer doing the public appearances. Beamer wanted to be the Lone Ranger on TV.
Well, they actually had Beamer doing the voice for a little bit, too.
He did,
because Gasser was
That's
killed
right,
in a car
after
wreck.
Gasser got killed in the car
Yeah,
wreck.
he did it from, I want to say
41, I think.
41 to 54 till it ended.
So, but here's the thing. George Trindle, who owned the rights to it, had recently went and seen a serial. And in the serial, it was, of all things, Zorro.
Serial?
And there was a young man in it named Clayton Moore. They looked at 75 different actors for the role of the Lone Ranger because Trindle just didn't think Beamer was right. And 75 different actors, and when he saw Clayton Moore playing Zorro, which, by the way,
was what the show was based on. We
yeah,
talked earlier.
what the Lone Ranger was based on.
What kind of cereal?
It was a motion picture serial. But he saw it and he said, that's our Lone Ranger.
Right now, we're watching that movie, Enter the Lone Ranger. So let's get back to it. Right here on Draw Western Theater.
Draw Western Theater. We'll talk more about where the show's going after this.
It's Tonto, Silver. Tonto.
Me follow trail Kemosabe. Take long time.
Where's the posse?
No posse. Sheriff's men in Colby wouldn't send men with me.
It must be one of Cavendish's men.
That's right. Him send man to ambush me. But me take care of him. You find Cavendish?
Yes. But his men rode down from the hills and surrounded the sheriff and Doc Drummond.
We go back and round them up?
No, there are too many of them. We'd need a whole troop of cavalry to capture them all. But I've got a plan, Tonto. Now, here's the idea. We'll circle back. Cavendish's horse. He must still be here. The rest of his men are out looking for me.
Where are Doc and Sheriff?
Over in the glen behind the brush. Come on, Tonto.
That's Sheriff's horse.
Yes, Tonto. He still must be here with the doc. I imagine that Cavendish is watching our friends until his men return. We'll sneak up to the glen. If Cavendish is there, I'll want to surprise him. Then you know what to do. A hoot owl.
Me understand.
We'll leave our horses here.
Take it easy, you two. I may not be strong enough to travel, but I got strength enough to pull a trigger.
You won't get away with this. How long do you think honest people are going to condone activities like yours, Cavendish? You know I've got men in my office who've sworn never to rest until you're captured. Myself included, of course. And that masked man, he's one of my special secret deputies. Your men will never catch him.
You know, Cavendish, the doc here and I and the masked man, we know a lot more about you than you think we do. Why, there's handbills on you all over this territory, pasted on every rock and every tree. You'll never get out of here. And another thing.
Woohoo!
Yeah, boy, stranger. You're a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah. I thought we were goners. Who's the Indian?
He's my friend. Are you both all right?
Yeah, we're all right.
Yeah. Cavendish is out cold.
Where you been, stranger? I was getting worried.
I rode off on Silver. Met Tonto coming from Colby. We sneaked in here the back way. Sheriff, your man Creel in town wouldn't send the posse.
Him no believe Tonto.
Well, then that proves he's part of this murdering fiend's band. And I can name more in town that are working with him. Well, anyway, we got Cavendish. We can load him in Doc's rig and take him on into town.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. I want to capture more of the gang than just Cavendish.
He's the leader.
With help, we can capture him and his entire band when they return.
Take too long to get help from Colby. They'll all get away.
There's help much closer than town, Sheriff. Tonto said he saw a cavalry detachment passing a short distance off. We'll get their help. Now leave Cavendish here. He's out and too weak to travel anyway.
Well, whatever you say.
All right, let's go. Come on, Doc.
Don't worry, you're not going to lose me. Which way to the cavalry, mister?
Take the right fork and circle back to Colby.
To Colby? What about the cavalry?
There are no cavalry.
Thought you said they're passing through hereabouts.
What I said was for Cavendish to hear.
But he couldn't hear anything. He was unconscious.
You should have examined him when I did, Doc. He was faking.
Well, if there's no cavalry, just what in tarnation you aiming to do?
I'm trying to delay Cavendish's plans, Sheriff, to gain time. We have a lot to do tonight in Colby.
All right, Doc, let's get on with it.
All right.
Unless some of these men spotted the masked man, Chief, at the cinch he didn't head for Colby.
I know he didn't.
Say, what happened to the prisoners?
Masked man must have hid in the brush nearby. While you were out straining the eyes for him, he come back here with an Indian friend.
Turn the prisoners loose, huh?
Yeah. They all let out fast, but not for Colby. They went the opposite direction.
Where'd they go?
I overheard the masked man tell the sheriff there's a group of cavalry passing nearby. Now, they've gone up to get him to round us all up, so we got to work fast. Green, you, Sellers, and Shep stick here with me. We'll go back to the hideout. The rest of you try to head off the prisoners. See if you can spot that cavalry, too. This is going to delay my plans concerning Colby a bit. I can't take any chances. Now get stirring.
I sure hope Cleo didn't see us come in here. The sheriff's office is practically next door to mine, and I noticed the lights were still on.
That's all for the good, Doc. It will give Tonto a chance to sneak over there and see if anyone else is in the office with Creel. While he's gone, we can make up that list of the names of the people we want to surprise.
Me go now, Kemosabe.
Be careful, Tonto. Remember, Creel is one of Cavendish's men. You know what happened the last time you tried to see him.
Me be plenty careful. You make list ready. Tonto be back fast. Are we sure that we hid your horses and my wagon far enough out of town? If anybody gets wind we're here, there'll be trouble.
If we act fast enough, nobody will have time to stop us. All right, Sheriff. Write down the names of the new men in town. The ones who've been taking over all the top jobs.
Well, first of all, there's Creel, of course.
Put his name at the head of the list. If we take the jail first, we'll have a place to lock up all the others.
And then there's Keeler. He took over the bank as soon as the judge was murdered.
Keeler. Yes, old Jim told me about him.
Yeah, and what about Ince? He was put in charge of the telegraph office mighty sudden.
Ince. I've heard of him, too.
Then there's Jessup. He's that new gunsmith. And Peters, Dude, and Corey.
Well, Tonto, what did you find out?
Me take peek through window of sheriff's office. See Creel in there with one man.
Just two of them, eh? All right, Sheriff. Doc, we'll start with Creel and his friend. And if everything goes well, we'll end up with the whole Cavendish gang.
All right, come on, boys.
I wonder what's keeping Cavendish. Sure getting to be late enough.
Oh, I don't know, Creel. Maybe him and the boys were held up.
Probably you sent us a message or something. Who is it?
It's me, Doc Drummond. An emergency.
Doc, I thought you was out of town sick.
Quiet, you two. Keep your hands high.
Say, what's going on here?
Plenty, Creel. Tonto, get Red's gun. We have reasons to believe you two are working for Butch Cavendish.
And I've got an idea those credentials you showed me to get your job were forged.
Now, wait a minute. You can't prove
Shut
it.
up. Get in that cell. You too, Red.
Two-Gun, give me that list you made of Creel's pals.
Betcha. All right.
All right, Doc. We've got to hurry. It's getting light outside. Come on, Tonto.
Who's there? It's Doc Drummond.
Yeah? Well, what are you doing here this time of day?
Are you running the bank now in place of Judge Knox?
Yeah, but what's that got to do with
Well,
it?
take a gander. The place is on fire. Fire?
All right, Keeler. March.
Huh?
Keeler, check. 1 down and 7 to go. Are you the gent that took over the telegraph office when Biff Anderson got his?
What about it, Doc?
Well, come on quick. Your place is on fire. What?
Put your hands up, Rivers.
Fire?
On your way, Jessup.
No trace of the masked man and his friends, huh?
No, we spent the whole night looking.
What about the cavalry?
Must have gone through here awful fast, Chief. Nary a sign of them now.
Good. Then there's nothing to stop us from moving into Colby right now.
Right.
Let's go.
the masked man. Everything goes as we figured. We'll have the Cavendish gang locked up by sundown.
Tonto, are your men all set?
Yes, Kimosabe.
Here they come! All right, boys. Let's go get them. Come on, Silver!
They're from Colby. And the masked man's leading them.
We can take them. We outnumber them.
Let them have it, men.
got me, stranger? Drop your gun, Cavendish. It's been a long chase. Now you're through for good. I guess you're right. All right, let's go. Where to? Back to the fight. Where'd you say? I said. Now get going.
Name. Put him in one.
I sure am glad to see them.
Name.
Shorty Bush.
Finally got you, huh? Put him in two. Let's go.
I'm going.
Name.
Dick Lambert.
One.
Okay. And I want to tell you that the whole town of Colby is proud of you, Two Gun.
Well, I appreciate that a lot, Jim, but we had very little...
Jim, come now, Sheriff.
Here he is, Sheriff.
Hello, Cavendish. Didn't think you'd catch him, partner. Now we got the whole dang bunch.
You and your men are to be congratulated, Sheriff.
Thanks. But if it hadn't been for you, we'd have gotten nowhere. I'll be with you in just a minute. I'll take care of this one personally. Come on.
Easy, Silver.
Now, Cavendish can't capture Kimosabe. You take off now.
I'm going to continue to wear the mask and keep my identity a secret.
For how long?
Our job has just begun. We have a lot of trails to follow.
That's good.
Sheriff, before the lockup, do you mind telling me who the masked man is?
Wouldn't mind at all, except that... Hey, where'd the masked man go? He and his Indian pal are going out to get the horses, Sheriff. Well, guess he isn't going to stick around for a party. Well, who is he? I don't rightly know his real name, but I've heard him called the Lone Ranger.
Get him, Sheriff!
Folks, welcome back. By now, the TV show is becoming a big hit.
Well, you know, at the time we were talking about TV was such a new medium that the only Western on TV at that time really was Hopalong Cassidy. And you know what? But Hopalong Cassidy...
Yeah, that wasn't... Okay, yes, it was on TV, but it was not a made-for-TV product. It was the old serials that they had made for the theater, that they had... edited down?
Yeah, they had cut them up for television broadcast, and of course it was brilliant they did that because William Boyd made a killing off the Hopalong Cassidy, the old shows. But this was the first made for television, first written
for television.
Talking about cereal
Western.
makes me hungry for some Lone Ranger Cheerios.
You know, that was a big sponsor of the Lone Ranger in the day.
And the person that did that, Fred Foy, we never really mentioned Fred Foy. Fred Foy is the person that did the intro. And
that famous, iconic intro.
He also did the intros for Cheerios and Wheaties, so there was that connection. That's what you're talking about. But they kept him.
But can you imagine George Trendle? We're talking George Trendle. At this time, they had already started merchandising things like pocket knives and Lone Ranger decoder rings and this, that, and the other. And all this merchandising was already being done from the radio show. And little did they know, when they got Clayton Moore in that mask, and they
how
started...
big it would get.
Oh, it blew up in 49. 48 was when it debuted.
Yep.
By 1949, 1 year later, it was the #2 show in the world.
Yes.
#2 in the world, 1 year later. Now wait, we didn't even talk about Jay Silverheels, so how did he get the role? Did we mention that?
Yeah, we mentioned Fran Stryker.
Fran Stryker.
Well, didn't you say Fran Stryker was from up in Detroit, Michigan area?
Well, we know Trendle.
I thought they
was.
knew each other.
I think Trendle was, and a lot of the things associated with the Lone Ranger came from either Trendle or Jewel. And again, there's always a little bit of who did what all through the years. But one of them went to a camp called Camp Kemosabe, and that was where he went to summer camp. And one of the words they used quite often was Tonto, and all of this got worked into the legend of the Lone Ranger.
Yes. But do you know what Tonto means?
Well, in Spanish,
it means foolish.
Foolish or
Dumb.
stupid.
Dumb.
But that's why in Spanish dubs of the show that went overseas, they changed his name to Toro. But you know what? That's the TV show. We're talking about the beginning of the legend of the Lone Ranger, and we got another episode to do just on our part of it. And let's talk about the TV show.
Well, I mean, you had Fran Stryker. He did all of the radio shows, and now he's writing this TV show.
I think we'll have to talk about the TV show in another show. There's a lot to say there about the man himself, the man with the mask, who we all know as the actor
Clayton Moore.
Clayton Moore.
Clayton Moore. We'd like to thank you all for joining us here on Draw Western Theater. Come back next time where we'll deal you in for some more classic Western action.
Hi-yo, Silver away!
Away!
Away! Did you drinking heavy today? Drink that old bottle.
He was on Saskatoon. In your local
Let me see that. Let me see that.
Here he comes, thundering up the West's deadliest treasure trail, storming past 100 gold-greedy guns to unmask the West's most fabulous treasure.
The Indians from the village. They've taken the prisoner from Sandoria.
Taken him? Do you know where?
To their village. I don't know what they will do with him.
Indian justice is swift.
Let's hope it's not too swift. That prisoner is our only lead to the rest of the hooded raiders. Come on, Tonto.